Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. I'm joined by my buddy, bouncing baby Bryce Ingman
That's
from
me.
from My Bad fame, Red Sonja fame, and couple stories in Edgar Allan Poe snifter of type stuff.
Yeah. Project Cryptid.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You did Project Cryptid too.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of those.
Didn't you actually get to pick up from? Oh, you do have one of the cooler writing credits because the Ahoy
Yes.
mystery story, didn't you
Yeah.
get to you
Yeah.
got to take the baton from Grant Morrison,
I
didn't you?
did. Yeah. Yeah. The naked
How
corpse thing. Yeah.
what did that feel like?
That was a huge. It was daunting. It was both daunting and an honor and fun. Yeah, all those things.
Yeah.
I wish I could have done more. I even pitched to Ahoy, like, let me do a comic book about the blind detective who sees and hears through her dog. But that didn't happen.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. But that was super fun.
I
Grant gave
think for
us,
that one you need to find the artist that can do something really crazy
yes.
to make it clear that you're seeing and hearing through the dog.
Yeah, that would make it. You're right.
If you turn in like the two-page treatment of how you're doing it visually is when that becomes, ooh, yes,
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
want that.
Well, I'm doing a different book for Ahoy. So they greenlit something else. So I can't complain.
Can can you talk about it yet, or
I,
just
I, could, I
just
could
you're
give
doing it?
you. It hasn't been announced. It's a sci-fi thing set in the future. It deals a lot with robot dogs. So I'll
Hey, hey,
say that much.
I like robot dogs.
Yeah,
I
there's a
like
lot.
real dogs too. Not
Me
as much
too.
as cats. Cats
I
are
like
better.
cats, but I'm more of a dog guy, and so it's exciting to be able to do something that I hope will that lovers of dogs will enjoy, and also people that find robot dogs a bit unnerving will also enjoy it.
Well, I mean, robot dogs are unnerving. I can
Yep.
only think of, Fahrenheit 451
Yep.
and Snow Crash
Yep.
and
Black
you
Mirror.
know
That I don't know if you've seen that episode of Black Mirror about robot dogs. It's
nah, I haven't actually
oof,
watched any Black Mirror yet.
really good.
People keep saying it's really good,
Yeah, there's
but I
there's
don't watch a ton of
episodes of Black
TV,
Mirror.
so I'm still catching up on all sorts of stuff that I missed over the last like 40 years. I mean, I mentioned off air that like I've been binging Deep Space Nine, which probably went, oh, that's your comfort thing, and it's like, well, it is my comfort thing, but it's also the first time I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I've never seen Deep Space Nine either.
I think
I've
I
watched it
watched a handful of the
half.
individual episodes way back when, but um, enough of the characters are heavily featured in the stuff that Chris Cantwell and Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly are doing at IDW right now.
Oh, okay.
With that like when I decided, okay, I'm loving these Star Trek comics. My friend Chris is a Star Trek nut and like shit himself when he got the Star Trek writing gig. Sorry, Chris, I wasn't supposed to say that on the air, was I? Uh,
It's okay.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Britt. Hi, Adam. Hi, John. Those are the four people that heard.
you know, I think that's fair to say of any of us writers when we get the opportunity to do something that we enjoyed growing up, you kind of want to shit yourself with excitement. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I get it. I get it.
yeah, yeah.
There's one that
Well, but
there's
but
one
but
that
but
I have a
then,
pitch in for right now that if I got it, I'd feel that way. So
yeah. Well, you'll have to let me know if you get it, and
yeah.
just send me the big picture, and I'll know. Or just send me a selfie, and I'll know you got it without even
Picture of
knowing
the
what it is. And then we'll discover it's something totally weird, like you were a Care Bears kid, and they're reviving the Care Bears comic, or Cabbage Patch Kids.
that would be funny. Those two are not the right guesses.
I do know. I've gotten. I still haven't read any of their stuff, and I need to because I've got a couple kids that are really into it too. We've had a couple of people on that have done work for My Little Pony,
Mm.
and like there is what it seems like anyway is that there's just a ridiculously healthy community around all of that.
Oh yes, yeah, that's a popular property. Yeah.
Well, but not only is it a popular property, I mean, it's like they're telling me about going to pony cons
Yeah. Oh,
and it's like and they're like, we're royalty. Like the comic book people are as royalty as
well, that's cool.
and everybody's nice to everybody. You don't have the toxicity, and when it does show up, it like immediately gets shunted out the door.
That's great.
And I'm like, that sounds nice. I mean, that's like mini comic cons.
Yeah.
It's just hard to do on the big scale, which is I think why I like the smaller ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, or it's like a signing, like a signing in a bookstore or something is
Right.
more interesting to me than sitting at a table at a con
Yeah.
because you just get the random people in the bookstore who you can talk to, and that's
Right.
often more
And they're
interesting.
like, "Who are you again?"
Yep, yep. Oh, tell me about this, and
Right.
just it's nice. Yeah. So
Do
my
you know
bad.
where the Spider-Man comics are?
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, you point me toward that.
So
Um,
third volume of My Bad just came out in collected form.
did
We had a little bit more John Adams in this one. Your John Adams is not the vampire John Adams.
no,
It's the shirtless buff John Adams, um,
that is right. Yeah,
which is
it was fun to
and the
spend more
time
time.
traveling one rather than the really old one.
Right. He's this John Adams is not hundreds of years old. No.
I think you guys should get together with Rodney Barnes though and see if you can have a crossover.
That would be cool. It would be cool to do more My Bad, period, because right now My Bad is in limbo. So
Right.
anybody listening to this who enjoys My Bad, please buy Volume 3 because we need
I,
to
I,
get juice sales a little bit so we can do more.
yeah. And this is where I'm feeling bad because I'm brain dead. I don't have any good questions to ask you right now. So tell me about the book that I just finished reading, and we'll see if I have questions that pop up as you tell me about it. You
So
sent the Peculiar Island.
right, the Peculiar Islands are a territory of the United States. Kind of like the Virgin Islands or something like that, except they have strange, like giant mushrooms and strange other foliage and weird bugs and then beaver faced penguins that run around.
I
That are
did like the beer face penguins.
Yeah, they're nice. You can't say anything bad about a beaver faced penguin. And
Mm.
the reason that everyone is there is because the president of the United States has appointed John Adams as the interim governor of this U.S. territory that's struggling economically. And that gives Emperor King, the sort of star supervillain of My Bad, something to focus on, which is trying to spoil John Adams' administration, trying to humiliate him and get control of the islands himself. And that's what's going on my side of the book. On Mark's side of the book, the chandelier is
Has
broke
decided to be Joe Rogan.
and decides he sells his chandelier persona to the U.S. government to pay his taxes and becomes a Joe Rogan style.
Sells is the nice way to put it.
Yeah, he's forced to give up the chandelier.
Right.
And as we always try to do with My Bad, those two disparate storylines crash together at the end. And it's all meant
Peter
to be
Krause
fun.
drew the hell out of all of it.
Yes, Peter Krause is so good at My Bad. He's a great artist who can do
He's
anything.
so good at so many things.
Yeah, he can do anything. I don't mean to, limit his ability by saying he's only good at like the kind of stuff My Bad is.
He can only draw golden age type superhero
So he can do
Pre
anything.
Marvel, post post Schuster.
He does a wonderful job. He he's so good at facial expressions
Yeah.
and subtle moments, and it really
Even
helps the
even on
movie.
Penguin Beavers.
Even on penguin beavers, beaver face
Yeah.
penguins. Yep. Uh, and so yeah, roll along. The whole series is just meant to be a good time for people. There's a little satire thrown in here and there, but that's not the main point. And parody's not the main point either. The main point is, having fun with these characters, having some laughs, and kind of a love letter to comics of the past and sort of the innocence of comics of the past, with our
I
fake.
still think there's a decent helping of social satire to go
There
along with
is
it.
that we can't help it, it's just
Right.
coming out, but it's not the point of the book. The book's not like, well, here's the satirical theme of this season. That's not that kind of book. It's like, yeah, there's a smattering of that kind of stuff, and always because the two main characters are billionaires, or I guess the chandelier is more like a multimillionaire. That they
Well, I mean,
lend
I
themselves to
feel
comic
I feel like he was a billionaire and then he paid his taxes, but now he might be a billionaire again because
of the podcast, yeah.
right.
And he ends up, without
I
spoiling the
did
end.
I did like his great things like, drink your own urine to there's actually a comic about that. Do you know Emmy Guinness at all?
No.
She will sometimes she does a lot of nonfiction comics and she like went way down the rabbit hole on the drinking your own urine as a
Help.
uh, health thing
Yeah, yeah.
and wrote a comic about it and it's great.
That does sound great. But yeah, so it kind of ends for the chandelier kind of ends on a cliffhanger. Mark and I really had planned on doing something else next, kind of taking a left turn with the book based on where Jamington the chandelier ends up at the end. We hope we get to do that still at some point, that we get to do another volume, and kind of, because for the first time, ironically, as we were working on volume 3 of My Bad, we were like, let's not wrap everything up. Let's kind of set the stage for what we want to do in the 4th volume. And then, of course, that happens to be the volume where Ahoy goes, well, maybe we'll pause now. So, best laid plans. But we would love to do more. It's super fun, and we hope that it's fun for the readers too.
I enjoy it. Um, Everybody I know that's read it enjoys it. It does suffer from that whole finding its audience thing,
Yeah.
which is why you're here and why I'm talking about it.
Yeah, I would say, for people that haven't read it and don't know it, I was recently watching, or I have been watching the current season of What We Do in the Shadows, the show about vampires who are all roommates. And if you enjoy that show, you'd probably enjoy My Bad. It's a similar kind of character based wackiness, with weird characters hanging out together, having sort of fantastic adventures that aren't that fantastic.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty good for Acid Chimp.
Acid Chip always has a good time.
And where does he get the acid?
I think he might have a superpower that have to be revealed at
That
some
they just haven't
Yeah, the
maybe
finding
maybe
acid.
maybe let's not drink Acid Chimp's urine.
Maybe not.
I mean, it might cure what ails you, but maybe not the
Yeah,
way you
yeah,
want.
yeah. But yeah, he can always find acid.
Um, I mean, I mean that would go along pretty well with bro podcasters, though.
Yeah,
I mean, they got into the drinking bleach, so I mean, Acid Chimp's acid urine would
yeah,
probably
yeah.
go
You
over
just
really
water it
well.
down a little.
Totally kill everything inside of you.
Well, Yeah. Acid Chimp is one of the characters in My Bad for people who don't know, and he's just what his name describes him as. He's a chimpanzee who is obsessed with acid and throwing acid on things and destroying things with acid and throwing acid on people at times.
I mean, really, anything that he can. I mean, I feel like it was almost didn't Emperor King train him?
Yes.
Yeah,
Emperor
so
King
he's
trained him as
especially
part.
trained to be part of a like Rube Goldberg-ish trap in the first volume.
That's where Acid Chimp came from. He was originally just part of a torture trap that the villain Emperor King had designed to try to torture and kill his arch enemy, the Accelerator, a super fast space alien who lives on Earth. Yeah, but
Who we found out this volume was kind of a dick too.
we did find out that
I
the
mean, we'd
Accelerator
kind
has.
of like had hints of that in the past, but we got some serious jerk action going here.
Yeah, we revealed more about him.
You know, kind of Homelander-ish. Are you
Yeah, a
ripping?
little bit.
Are you going straight from you stealing from other comics? I mean, of course you are, because it's my bad. It's a
Yeah,
parody of
yeah.
superhero comics, but not just the Marvel and DC superheroes. You guys are all superheroes.
Sure. We'll make fun of any superhero.
Yeah, you have no prejudice,
No,
no prejudice against any superhero.
no, no.
If it's got superpowers and it's in a comic book, you're all about it.
Yeah, and we will. It may be reflected in the pages of my book.
We're just gonna spitball because I'm in that kind of mood. Unless you have a better idea, but I'm gonna take you. Who are your favorite crazy superheroes or supervillains from anywhere?
Oh, crazy ones.
Yeah.
Well,
You can't go easy to know. I mean, you got to go full on like David Harper, I Love Stiltman type.
yeah. I mean, I think they were intentionally designed to be like bizarre and weird because I think Steve Gerber created them. But I love those headmen where there's like one that's got like a head that's like a big ruby, one that's got a head that's like a bird monster, one that's got a human head on an ape body. You know the headmen. That's a Marvel.
Vaguely.
Yeah, like the 70s and 80s. I love the headmen. The whole idea being
Which
that each one of them just has the wrong head on their body or on their head on a different body, and that's what brings them together as a group.
they were Steve Gerber and Sal Buscema.
I got it right.
First, see, I was expecting this to be like uh, a Howard the Duck thing, but it's not. Their first appearance was in Defenders number 21.
Yeah, I don't know that they ever met up with Howard the Duck.
Wow. They've made 19 appearances in Earth 616.
Not a ton.
No, no.
Still laying around for me to play with someday, I
Looks
guess.
like mostly Defenders and Sensational She-Hulk. So
That's
yeah,
yeah.
you gotta put your pitch together, Bryce. They're ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But okay,
How about
okay.
you? What you got a
Me, the one that I've fallen in love with recently, so much so that I pitched a great responsibility a couple weeks ago, and we and by recently I mean in the last couple of years. Have you ever read Mr. Invincible?
no?
It's a French comic, um, and like they call it the world's only true comic book superhero. And like it plays with the form. His ability is that he can see and move between panels.
Uh,
So it's stuff like, he'll look down and notice that like the bad guy is about to do something in the panel. Here, I'm going to share my screen. the panel underneath and like kick something between the panels. His sidekick is 2D, um, who can like actually treat the world like it's two dimensions. So something that's a background, he can still pick it up and bring it forward, or
uh,
he can take something from here and move it back, and then it doesn't actually change size. So if he brings it forward, it's now this teeny tiny thing. But if he
yeah.
takes something from here and moves it back, it's suddenly this big thing back there.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
And then there's a villain that what he can do is he can go through pages. So like he can he can escape by going to like the other side of the page.
Okay.
He can essentially go behind the wall and out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Oh, and
it sounds like the old like Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny cartoons where they would
right,
interact with the
right,
animator, and
right.
yeah, that's cool.
And then there's a weird old man that can beat you up with word balloons.
No, that's fun.
But it's all very French and very humorous.
I see.
I
Yeah.
mean, see, like he's just knocking him with the iron.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it going through the line there, the border.
Right.
Yeah.
Just looking at him because he
Up.
knows
Yeah.
that he'll come down here and
Oh, that's neat.
you know. So yeah, that's become my favorite. Um, and like if I'm going stateside and big two, I'm a big Squirrel Girl fan.
Oh yeah, Squirrel Girl. Yep.
Squirrel
Yep.
Girl is just
Yeah.
outstanding. She's
Right.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Particularly because like the comics are so interesting and so much fun and pace so well that like you can read a dozen issues before realizing that she doesn't actually ever fight anybody.
Yeah.
She always solves her problems non-violently. Like the worst she'll do is have the squirrels restrain you.
That's so cool.
It's like
Yeah.
it's so cool to have come up with that conceit, but also to have hidden it so well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Well, I think it's that's because it was Ditko, right? Ditko created
Well,
Squirrel.
I
But
know
then it's been taken and made into this. Yeah.
Ryan North is the one that did that. Ditko only created her, and she was in like one story, and I don't know that she had enough of a character in that story to say that she had any rules. Ryan North is the one that decided, yeah, she's going to be funny and quirky and become Galactus's friend rather than
Yeah.
fighting him.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, what do you read lately? How do you entertain yourself these days? Because we were talking off the air, like that's become a challenge. Our
Well,
previous conversations have been very worldly conversations and very, very grounded in social emotional issues of our times. And like right now, I just don't want to be anywhere near the world.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've had that reaction too the last few weeks. Right before the election, I went and saw that movie about Saturday Night Live.
I heard good things about that.
Very good. It was really good, very entertaining, and I've always been interested in that, early SNL stuff.
Right.
So then that made me read the oral history of SNL,
Okay. My
which is
wife has that.
like 750 pages of,
Yep.
and it was really the first half or so I was very entertained by. Once it got closer and closer to the modern SNL, I got less and less interested, honestly. So that kept me busy for a lot of the like days after the election. I would just sit and there's Dan Aykroyd talking about this. Oh, there's Bill Murray talking about this, and kind of a completely different brain space. Uh,
Right.
Comics wise, I read the new Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips book, The Houses of the Unholy.
Oh yeah.
Really good. I mean, not cheery, but
Yes.
really good.
Yes. And at least it's like not cheery 30 years ago, not cheery, rather than not cheery right now.
Yeah,
Not
right,
cheery.
right, right. But still kind of had like
Oh
that
yes, there's
feeling,
a through line if you
yeah,
start
of
thinking.
our world is shit. And what do you do when the world is shit?
Right. No,
So that
there's totally a through line.
yeah. Uh, I've been going back digitally reading the stuff that Harvey Pekar did for Vertigo, which I'd never read.
Okay.
You know, I always loved Harvey Pekar's American Splendor stuff, but hadn't
Yeah.
read the stuff he did, you know, in the aughts at DC.
Right.
And so I've been enjoying that. You know, I like biographical comics a lot. You know, we're recently talking about It's Lonely at the Center of the Earth. So you
Let me
know,
send the earth.
another
Yeah.
wonderful biographical comic. So those, you know, especially when we're dealing with the past, right? Harvey Pekar's struggles 20 years ago don't make me think so much about now, although sometimes you see the seeds of the world we live in now and his struggles.
I mean, that's the hardest part is like I can barely think of my own life without being able to go, yeah, this is this led to this, led to this, led to this, and I saw some of that writing on the wall when I was in high school, and I was sitting there going, "Hey guys, look at this."
Yeah, no,
And
me too.
and I didn't feel alone then, and somehow I feel alone now, even though it's so much more obvious.
Yeah, no, uh, yeah. I the thing that alarmed me 20 years ago or more was this feeling that the country was being purposefully pushed to a place where we hated our fellow Americans,
Yep.
and that wasn't the world that I grew up in, but I could feel these forces trying to make us hate each other. And now
Right.
we're there, and we're like two Americas that at least one side of America hates the other side, and it's
Yeah.
not a good place for us to be.
No, no, I don't feel like it's a very and yeah, I can barely say that I grew up in a world where it wasn't like that because I mean by the time I was paying attention, you could see the people pushing it that way.
Yeah.
It took a while for it to really take hold.
Yes.
Um, but by 94, it seemed like one party that was their primary focus,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And then, oh my God, we elected a black man, and therefore they needed to pump steroids into their primary focus of division because woo,
Yeah. Can't have that. Can't
can't
have
have that.
can't have equality. Can't have progress.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how we've had a freaking reality TV star beat two ridiculously qualified women.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
No.
like ridiculously qualified women.
Yeah. Oh, I
I
mean,
mean, more
Kamala Harris.
evidence of how like even with affirmative action, DEI, whatnot,
Yeah.
the minority candidates tend to be way more qualified, not
Oh yeah.
less qualified.
And with Kamala Harris, you don't even have the president, you know, the Bill Clinton stuff. You
Right,
don't even have that. Like
right.
Kamala Harris is 100% clean. You can't argue that she got
Like the worst knocks on Kamala Harris should make Republicans love her.
yes, right. That
She's
she was a
tough
little
on
too.
crime.
Yeah, yeah,
She's harder on nonviolent drug offenders than I'm totally comfortable with.
yeah. Right.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean,
No, I know. I lived in California, you know, when she was starting out her political career. I voted for her, but you know, it wasn't without some reservation because she
right,
is more conservative than I am.
right. I mean, it's kind of like voting Democratic this year. I mean, I don't think that they actually wound up swinging the election, but but I got the people who couldn't vote for Democrats because of the unending flow of weapons to Israel.
Hmm. Oh
Because
yeah,
among other
no,
things, I think there's a difference between supporting Israel and supporting Israel enacting genocide.
I agree. This
You,
is
you
this
know,
is
I
why
have a lot of trouble
Netanyahu
with
is.
people who can't see the difference between anti-Semitism and anti-genocide.
Well, yeah. I mean, I just try to tell people I don't like Israel's government.
Right.
It's not anything other than that. Netanyahu
Yeah.
is an
Yeah.
evil man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why
And no,
that's why
no,
he has an
I
arrest
don't
warrant.
think Israel should go away either.
No, no,
I
no,
don't think they should go away. I
no.
don't think that it's good that they were attacked by Hamas. I don't think any of those things. But I also don't think that like thousands of children dying under any circumstances is ever. I mean, I did you read Ta-Nehisi Coates' new book?
No, I've seen several interviews where he's talked about it, and I want to read it. I'm familiar with it.
It's
Sounds brilliant.
it's brilliant. And I think actually the you know the interview got the most attention because of the way he got really attacked. But I actually thought when he figured out that he was being attacked on what was it, the CBS morning show, whichever one it was, when he just man, you can even see him stop and regroup. And I heard him talking to somebody else where he's like, "Yeah, I realized I was in a fight. This wasn't an interview. This wasn't PR. This was a fight, and I had to." And you see him take a deep breath, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, I know what apartheid looks like, and there's no excuse for apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
I know what genocide looks like, and there's no excuse for genocide. You don't tell me about it being complicated. Sure, it's complicated. Fixing it is complicated, but that doesn't mean that what's going on right now is right."
Right. Because dropping bombs is not a solution to a complicated problem.
Right.
Tell me
You
it's
know.
complicated, I tell you, then don't drop bombs to solve it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not gonna it doesn't make things better.
No, no, he's so right, and um, it requires uh, it requires everyone being an honest broker about that idea that it is
Right.
complicated, right? And
Right.
not saying that and then just going, well, that means that Netanyahu can do
We
it.
should we should hand wave everything because it's
And
complicated. They
right,
know better than us. We'll just hand wave.
I
We'll decide who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And
yeah, I am. We're getting real political, but I left the Democratic Party when Obama was president because of his drone policies.
yeah, I
And
wasn't a big fan of those either.
yeah, and I have so I've been an independent ever since, and I still vote Democrat in every election because the alternative is insanity.
Right. I mean,
Um,
I've never. I'm a Democrat the way I'm a Christian. Like, I believe all of their best stuff, but like, if you
yeah,
put me in a room with people who call themselves Democrats, I'm probably going to disagree with more of them than I agree with because the loudest voices are like the ones that don't get it
yeah,
or are
yeah,
willing to make any and you know I'm a pragmatist. I was somebody who would have fights about Joe Manchin, where it was like, yeah, no, it sucks that Joe Manchin's doing this, but this is what it takes for a Democrat to win in West Virginia. And the option is worse. So the person you negotiate with is Joe Manchin. Whatever it's going to take to get the bill past Joe Manchin is what you do. And you live to fight another day.
yeah. No, it's true. Yeah, and we now see, when you take Joe Manchin out, well, then that just
Right,
becomes a Republican, and that person will be zero. There'll be a zero chance that you can negotiate with that
right,
person to do anything good.
right. And for that matter, I mean, don't get me wrong. The thing that frustrated me the most about um, Manchin and Sinema was their unwillingness to do anything with the filibuster. But I also think that the fact that we were so loud about that means that it wasn't just Manchin and Sinema. That there were a lot of Democrats that didn't want to get rid of the filibuster for the
Right.
same reason Biden says, which is, oh, what will they do? Blah, blah,
And
blah.
tradition, they're all wrapped up in like,
Yeah, but it's like in my lifetime, I have never seen the Republicans actually retaliate for something. They've said they've retaliated, but they've just done what they were going to do anyway. And if you
exactly.
don't give them something to retaliate for, they'll still do it.
Mhm.
Watch how fast the filibuster goes away if they're having trouble getting their nominees through.
Of course. Yeah,
Watch
pretending
how
that.
fast the filibuster goes away if they can't get the tax cut they want.
Right, right. Which is their only true principle. Their only true principle is tax cuts. So for the wealthy.
Yeah, I was about to say, not even really tax cuts. Their only true principle is that the people who should be in charge are the people who have the most money.
Yeah.
They will try to justify that idea by saying that they're clearly the smartest because they have the most money. And I think what we're really starting to see a lot of trouble with is like the person who made the money was pretty smart, probably. Andrew Carnegie was probably pretty smart. I don't know that his grandkids are.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I think
The problem we have right now is so many of our rich people are dumb as shit.
oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because when daddy starts you out with millions of dollars, you don't have to be very smart.
You never had to work for, you never had to figure out anything.
Yeah.
You never had to problem solve.
No, no. And you look at, like it's so much of it, and this is just America. This is just PR. It's like the PR of Elon Musk, the PR of Donald Trump makes people think they're smart. But if you actually look at their lives and their actions, they've done stupid things all
Or
the time.
listen to them speak for more than 35 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, that I actually thought was the most brilliant part of Kamala's campaign strategy when she just started telling people, go watch his speeches.
Yeah, she was right. Yeah.
They're not covering them very well, so go actually watch them.
Yeah. No,
because I think there started being more honest coverage of his speeches at that point too. When the newspapers are like, "Oh wait, one candidate's telling you to go find video of his speeches. We better be more careful about how we write about them."
It wasn't hard for them, but there's a lot of room for them to become more honest in their coverage because the media shit the bed this whole cycle. It was just disgusting.
I mean, I have a certain amount of empathy because one of the bedrocks of journalism is you're supposed to be telling the story rather than
making
it.
Yeah.
But where that gets really fuzzy is like you start getting into unbiased journalism. There's no such thing as unbiased journalism. And good journalists know this because you've shown bias the second you decide what to write about.
Yep.
So after that, it's am I being fair? Not am I being equal? Not am I and that's the problem is particularly when your bosses tend to be the rich guys.
Exactly.
When the facts really favor one side.
Right.
I mean, really, I think what happened is a portion of the right, most likely the richest portion of the right, saw this flaw in the media ecosystem and it's like, let's see how far we can exploit it. Particularly once, I mean, when Nixon resigned, Roger Ailes made it his mission to create an environment where that would never happen to a Republican again.
Right.
So once they created their own version of the news, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, how much can we exploit the weaknesses in the other side?
Yeah, and
Or
then
not even the other side. How much can we exploit the weaknesses in what's considered good journalism?
right,
We're just going to lie and we're not going to be ashamed.
yeah, and that moves everything, right? That like sort of
Yeah.
like shifts everything, including the other media outlets. And the thing that that's like there were too many examples of it getting really blatant. And toward the end of the election, one of them was Errol Morris did a documentary on January 6th,
Right.
2021. That, I haven't seen it, but apparently it's, brutal and fact based, account of that horrible day and that attempted insurrection. And MSNBC,
Oh, I thought you meant that those very nice, loving
yeah,
people
yeah,
taking a tour of the Capitol
yeah, yeah,
with pitchforks,
yes, with pitchforks and taking shits everywhere. Those nice,
nooses. The
yeah,
gallows out front
nooses,
was a nice
yes,
touch.
and setting up the gallows, all such nice, friendly people.
I mean that right there,
Right.
like,
Yes, it doesn't pass the smell test like
yeah,
a million different
you
ways.
don't just grab stuff randomly and set up a gallows. That has to be planned.
Yes,
It
that's the
wasn't
key.
just a noose hanging
No.
over, it was a full
Yep.
gallows
Yes.
setup.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like Old West
That right
style.
there,
Mm-hmm.
nobody should be able to look at that and go,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, this was just people that
Yeah.
got exuberant."
Yeah. And so, MSNBC's, you know, millionaire minders, they're like, oh, we're not showing this before the election. They're advertising, oh, we're going to show the documentary like November 10th. Decisions like that are too blatant. It's
Yeah.
like
Well,
we can see behind the curtain what's going on here.
uh,
Or and I
right,
never watched them, but you got those that Morning Joe show. Well, now
right.
they've already started to switch over to being pro
Yeah.
Trump. Like it's all a
I don't know
game.
that they've gone full on pro Trump, but they've at least
Just
gone,
read
we'll
articles.
talk to him and
Yeah,
we'll listen to him.
yeah. Well, they were pro Trump
You know,
before Trump was president in 2015. There's all kinds of footage you can watch of Joe being
I
like,
believe
"Oh,
it.
Trump's a he's a breath of fresh air. He's going to make politics better for everyone." And then when it served them to be anti-Trump, they were
Yeah.
anti-Trump. And now that
Yeah.
it's going to serve
I
them to be
believe it.
Trump, so I'm fed up with all that.
Yeah. It's just frustrating for me because I also like to know what's going on and it's
Yeah.
getting harder and harder to.
The Guardian, things like that, like UK based, are for me. I'm starting to go,
Yeah.
well, I kind of need to look outside the United States for information about
And or independent, I look more and more. Are you not for profit
Yeah,
and or, there are a handful of, your Spencer Ackermans, your Jonathan Katz's,
yes,
your
voices.
decorated journalists who have chosen to now work outside the system because there aren't places that they feel comfortable working inside the system. Um, but that requires us to like pay each one of them. And I do, but that's where we go back to that other off-air conversation, which is the new middle class is I manage to pay all of my bills as long as I don't get a flat tire or need a filling
Yeah,
or
right.
whatnot. And any extra $200 expenditure means that I'm tight this month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to start. Yeah, watching every purchase, going to the grocery
Right.
store and going, well, wait a minute, that's no, put that back.
Right.
No.
Which store has it on sale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, completely.
I mean, I don't think we're quite to where I was before I got married when it was just my paycheck, where it's like I planned my meals for the week around what protein was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, chicken's really cheap this week, so we're having chicken this week.
Yeah. No.
Pork chops are really cheap this week. We're having pork chops this week.
Yeah, being a single adult in this economy is really hard.
Oh God. It makes shopping so much harder.
It does.
Managing to get the right portions to not waste any of it.
Yeah. 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 And then rent, all those things.
Yeah.
It's not, the system
Yeah.
is not set up for people to be single.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's not set up for people not to be millionaires,
There you go.
but yes, definitely not set up to be single. That extra bedroom doesn't cost that much.
No, no, that's a lot cheaper than the whole other
It,
unit.
it's the rest of the apartment that, like, I mean, I envy those people that either can live with anybody or have the strong bigger friend group, because like if you had 5 people that you could rent a house with, you'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I'm amazed that I found one person that like can live with me and not have me drive them up the wall.
Yeah.
I'm kind of amazed that I found one person that I can live with and not be driven up.
Yeah. Right.
you know. I mean, that's the comic book community. We like our solitude,
Mm-hmm.
and to talk to
Writer
to people,
community.
yeah, to people that we already know are part of our tribe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. And
Um,
yeah, the writing requires a certain amount of solitude, right? Like, and I know that makes it easier for me as a single person. That's one thing. I don't have to, if I'm home alone, I don't have anyone bothering me. There's not going to be any interruptions. If I turn off the phone, I can really dive in. But I know other people who are like, where can I go to get that? Because I can't get it at home because I got five
right,
people at home.
right. The challenges of figure. I mean, this is to a certain extent. This is just like the challenges of living. Period. And I don't know that it's any different in any time or place in the world, but it's certainly also harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm old enough now that I know, like in the '90s, it was so much easier for me to like find like affordable ways to live than it
Right.
is. It just I moved to Los Angeles in 1996 and had almost no money and was able to find ways to find affordable housing, to find jobs that I could support my temporary jobs I could support myself with. For a person in their 20s now trying to do something like that,
Yeah.
no chance.
Yeah.
Show up in LA, when you're 25 and go, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot,
Right.
with no
Right.
savings. It's impossible.
Right.
You're gonna end up on the streets or
Right.
running away from LA
Right.
or wherever you
No,
go.
and at this point, I also know enough people in Europe to know that like little things like paid college
Yeah,
and paid healthcare
huge.
like make all of that stuff infinitely easier.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking, now, like what happens if education starts to kind
Oh
of fall
God.
apart because that's so much of my safety net for my healthcare
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Like
Hmm.
I'm not.
Well, particularly because we're both special ed,
Yeah,
which
right.
which means that like
Cut, cut,
the
cut.
significant chunk of our funding is
Federal.
actually coming from the Department of Education.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And the oversight to make certain that schools are actually offering the things that we do rather than going, too hard,
Yep.
is coming from the Department of Education. And now, at best, we have Linda McMahon at the
Yeah.
head of the Department of Education.
Yeah. If
But
they if
they've
if they
talked
don't
about
just
how they
shut it
want to get
down,
rid of the Department of Education. So the question is, which is better, Linda McMahon or no Department
I
of
decided for
Education?
now it's better with Linda McMahon, but I have wondered that question as well. Uh, just because of what you're saying, because at
Right.
least maybe the wheels will keep turning with the money and stuff for things like special education, uh, and rather than it just all going away at once.
This is what I will say, and something that I've been thinking about way too much. There's universal health care in Mexico, and a female Jewish um, PhD in climate science president. So, I mean, maybe it's time to immigrate.
I've heard people talk about that. You're not the first, I should say.
I'm certain that I'm not the
No,
first.
I've people in my circle have talked about Mexico. I'm like, I don't know. I should have paid more attention in high school Spanish.
Uh, which is why you make yourself a little community where there's enough people that really know Spanish,
To help you
and
out.
you're in that
And
community
English.
so that you have enough people who know English while you're learning enough Spanish. And thankfully, because we're the two countries in the world that are most bastards about not learning other people's languages, forcing them to learn their
Yeah,
are both English speaking because it's the
yeah,
UK and us.
yeah.
I mean, most people in Mexico probably already know Spanish or
A
probably
little
already
bit.
know English.
Yeah, yeah. This is true. No,
Might not be as hard as we think.
one of the people who has expressed this thought about Mexico is Mark Russell, my co-writer on my bad and my buddy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have heard people talk about this very thing, and Mark was talking about the expat community there and stuff. And
Yeah. I mean, uh, do you know Santos Sisters?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I
Fake
don't.
lives down there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Fake lives down there.
Okay.
And I think has at least one rental property. So maybe
Wow.
we should just all rent his.
The whole comics community can move to Mexico.
The Santos sisters will save us all.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
I just turned in my column for the next American Nature Presents. So I know those guys. So I can reach out. Hey, so how many people could you arrange housing for if it
Uh,
came to that?
yeah. Yeah.
We can all teach English and talk about comics.
Totally. And we can work with special ed kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, we got some special ed teachers, some art teachers. I'm certain we can figure out other things to do if necessary. Not a lot of money to bring with us because, we made those crazy decisions to either make things or help people with our lives. And apparently, those aren't the valuable things.
No, no. Well, the things people make are valuable, but only when someone else can steal them and make money off of your work without doing any work themselves. Then those are
Right.
valuable.
Right. Well, and helping people is very valuable to the person who connects you with the insurance company that pays for you to help
Yeah, there you go.
people.
Mm-hmm. Or the people that want you to volunteer to help someone so that society doesn't have to pay to help them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
They
a
love
big
that too.
Bush era thing.
Yeah.
Let's push for more volunteerism.
Mm-hmm. Well, I believe that wonderful Elon Musk is asking for people in his
Super
Department of Government.
geniuses to
Yeah,
volunteer 80 hours a
yeah,
week.
for no money.
Only super geniuses need applause.
Now, the question is, are you technically a super genius if you're willing to work 80 hours a week for nothing?
If you think that Elon Musk would make a good boss and be worth applying to a job
Yeah.
with Vivek Ramaswamy as your
Yes.
co-boss, I think that right there excludes the possibility
Yeah.
that you're a super genius.
Yes. It's like you're a redneck.
And
super genius.
above them is the guy who's literally known for saying you're fired.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I don't apply for that job.
Yeah, so I don't know what kind of super geniuses they're going to find.
I mean,
Guys who listen to Joe Rogan who've decided themselves they're super geniuses.
I'm thinking
Jimmy
that really clearly, the smartest guy in the world has got to be Mike Judge because I mean he wrote this all into Idiocracy, what, 30 years ago
Yeah, close to 30 years
almost.
ago. Yeah, yeah, no, it's so true.
I
So
don't think
true.
quite that long. Maybe only
Yeah,
25.
25.
When did Idiocracy come
I
out?
want to
That we're
around the turn
2006.
of the
Oh,
century, I would say.
only 18 years ago.
Oh, 18 years old. There you go. It seems like longer. My father, who's 80, wrote me email the morning after the election where he said, "Well, now we're in idiocracy," you know. So
Yep.
it's
Yep. Yep.
people get it.
Our students were born after Idiocracy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so true. So true.
And yeah, no, it has become way too real.
It has.
And I think that under the like everybody talks about how dumb everybody is in Idiocracy. What what I think is overlooked in terms of exactly how bad things had gotten is that Owen Wilson's character, or I'm sorry, Luke Wilson's
Luke.
character,
Yeah, I was
Luke Wilson's character isn't actually that smart.
no, no.
He's just like at best an average show and a lazy one at that.
Hmm? Yes, yes. No, he's he's old average guy, but old
Right.
average guy
If
is like
if if he hadn't been frozen,
yeah,
he would have been probably in the group of ones that were making too many babies.
yes, yes. At the beginning, yes, right.
He's not the super genius from the
Oh
past.
no, no, no. It is wonderful.
You know,
Perfect
he's
script.
not he wasn't on Big Bang Theory and then came to Idiocracy.
Right.
He's like one of Penny's other boyfriends on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
He's a dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
But
like,
it's a perfect device because then as we see this other world through him, he's not that special, but he's so appalled, that makes him
right,
more powerful.
right. But I think it also allowed for more people to think that it was complete and utter science fiction without basis in reality.
Oh yeah, when that movie came out, the reaction to it wasn't what the consensus of it is now.
Right.
It wasn't a big hit. I went and saw it with friends, and my friends
Yeah.
were kind of like mediocre on it. They're like, it wasn't Office Space. I was like, oh, that
Yeah.
was better than Office Space.
Yeah. And Office Space is good
Office
for
Space is a
similar
good movie. Yeah,
reasons.
yeah.
But but oh, or no, is that I did not realize that. Oh no, that's a different Cohen. Ethan, not Ethan.
Oh yes, that's the one that tricked Bill Murray into doing the Garfield movie. That
Is he?
that Bill Murray saw that name attached to the animated Garfield he did years ago and thought it was Ethan Cohen and
Gotcha.
signed on the dotted line. And then when he got there, found out, no, this is not that Cohen.
Different guy.
Yeah, this
I was
is
about to I was about to say, so wait a
hacky
minute. So,
Garfield.
so co-writer was I mean, he has been involved in some decent stuff. The Holmes and Watson fell flat to me.
Oh yeah, I don't even know that I finished that one. That was not
Yeah, I had hopes for it.
me too.
But it fell really flat.
Yeah, and after
Though
Step
Men in
Brothers,
Black 3, he wrote Men in Black 3, and I thought that that was significantly better than I expected it to be. So, yeah, he's
no,
got a
you can't have a reuniting of the guys from Step Brothers in a movie as mediocre as that Holmes and Watson.
yeah, no, I was well, and I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan too, so like
There's a lot there to play with, right?
right. and and it's not even like there haven't been. Have you ever seen the 7% solution?
No.
It was made into a comic too. Essentially, it like 7% solution um, is a play on Holmes's cocaine habit because he'd use
Okay.
a 7%
Ah,
solution of, but um, where it actually goes is the idea that Holmes is um, very much the um, Watson is the mind behind it.
oh, okay. He's just the front man.
Right. Um, and this has him going to see Sigmund Freud. Is that one? No. Hold on
Oh,
a second.
that's what the story's about. Him going to get analysis from Freud.
Right. To
Interesting.
work on the cocaine
Ah,
induced delusions. Um, trying to remember though if that's the one that I feel like there was one other great Sherlock Holmes comedy movie. As we just go all over the place.
there's one from the 70s I know that's revered. Can't think of what it's
I
called,
mean,
but
the 7% solution was
there's one with like
uh
gay overtones, I think, that was done in the 70s about Holmes and Watson
yeah.
that people love.
Yeah, 7%
Comedy.
solution was Robert Duvall as Dr. Watson.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it was 76.
Okay, all right. That's not what I was thinking
Oh
of.
no, I think the other one that I was thinking of, and this is from the 80s, Without a Clue,
Oh, okay.
um, is it's Michael Caine as Sherlock Holmes
Michael
and Ben
Caine.
Kingsley as Watson.
Never seen
And
it,
I'm
but I remember that from video stores, seeing it in video stores.
right, and I'm pretty certain that that's the one where, yeah, Drunken Sherlock Holmes is really just a cover for the real detective Dr. Watson, is what Without a Clue is. That one's
Oh, okay.
just hilariously funny. That was a
That's a
late
good
80s was
cast.
a good period for just really funny mystery movies because that
Yeah.
was the era of Murder by Death and Clue, and
Yeah.
we don't have enough good comedy mysteries anymore.
It's just
We don't have enough good non-superhero movies anymore.
yeah.
Good
Maybe they're out
TV.
there. Maybe they're out there on TV somewhere, but they're certainly not in the theaters.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, I mean, I mean, this goes back to the whole um people born into wealth just aren't as smart as we make them out to be because they never had to.
Right.
Um I feel like we're in an era where when it comes to the arts, they would way rather spend $100 million trying to get $1 billion than $10 million in hopes of getting $50 million.
Yeah. Right. That's
You know,
the
getting a
gambling.
little bit of money is way harder than getting a lot of money
Yes.
when it comes to
They're trying to hit jackpot.
artistic endeavors.
Yeah.
You
Whereas, yeah,
know,
you should be happy, like if you make a movie that you make for $1 million and it makes 10 million, you should be thrilled. But
I
they would
mean,
probably be like, who
well,
cares?
as somebody who loves comics, this really frustrates me because I feel like one billionaire who loved comics enough to just devote himself to making comics and worrying
Yep.
less about the IP and less about profiting as much as making it a viable industry could completely disrupt it just doesn't.
No, it doesn't take because the industry compared to other industries is small. So that
Right.
kind of influence.
Well, but beyond that, it just, I mean, good comic stories, I mean, particularly when you get into graphic novels and whatnot, it's not about what you can sell right now. You can have them in print or digitally
Yeah,
in print forever.
yeah,
So paying a good page rate and just going, we want to make the money back in X amount of time.
yeah. In the next 5 years, 10 years, yeah, you're right.
Right. If it breaks even in 5 years, then we did well, you know,
Sure.
and we'll do more work with you. I mean, this used to be the Miramax philosophy was you
Mm-hmm.
make a movie and you break even by the end of the first year of DVD sales, then we're likely to give you that budget again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
You
every once in
know.
a while, you get a Pulp Fiction that makes some real money. So
And
yeah,
then the next time you get an even bigger budget.
yeah, right. Yep, yeah, yeah,
But if you don't lose us money, we'll keep trying.
yeah. No, it's a good model.
You
And
know.
there are hints
But
of it
but when
already.
I look at
It
the
is
page rates that so many people get, we could make it so our artists were actually working artists rather than starving artists,
for sure.
and still make it so that like it only took $20,000 to break even on a comic.
Yep. No, you're right. That if a billionaire were willing to say, okay, I'm going to devote, $100 million to this company, it would be a huge
Yeah,
success.
you would completely upend the industry
It would. Yes.
instantaneously,
Yes. Yes.
just by doubling page rates
Yep. Doubling page rates, and you could do
and
things
offering
like
healthcare.
you could make every number one a buck. You could do all kinds of
Right,
things to drive
right.
sales and to drive readership.
Actually, one of the times when Mark was on, he had a great idea for a comic shop that in some ways I think is equally good idea for a publisher. He said that if he owned a comic shop, what he might do is, with the exceptions of some of the legacy titles, your Batman, your Spider-Man, whatnot,
Yeah.
he would way over order on issue one because that's the only one that's ever worth any money anyway. Um, and because if you've got that, you can rope people in still. And then he wouldn't order anything after that until the trades, except for
Mm-hmm.
um,
The legacy titles.
or subscriptions.
Oh yeah, somebody asked for it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked for it. I think as a publisher, that's not a bad strategy either. Like, flood the place with cheap number ones,
Mm-hmm.
and either don't produce 2 through 5,
Yeah.
or do absolute minimal print runs or print on demand or whatever, and then put out the graphic novel. So
Yep.
it's like, here's your dollar taste, and if you like it, go spend $20.
Yeah. Yep. Uh, I can't get into too many details, but Ahoy and I are going to try to do a little bit different model with this robot dog stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Ahoy is
No,
definitely
I've
trying to look for other models.
yeah. And I mean, the readers are out there. I
Yes.
mean, I feel bad. I forget who I was talking, or it was the last. I was talking. My last interview was with a guy named Britt Payne, who's actually a VP legal at one of the bigger studios,
Okay.
maybe even president legal at one of the bigger studios. But he's a comics geek, and has an autistic son. So he's like now has like one of his personal crusade is getting more autism representation in comics and media in general. So at work, he pushes it at work, and then he uses his business card to be able to do panels. I met him because he had an autism and comics panel at C2E2,
Nice.
because he's got the big enough title that, when that is on the card, he's more likely to get the panels. He got to do New York Comic Con a panel this year, that sort of thing. Um, but we're reading for next week. DC's YA titles, and I commented that even DC doesn't talk about it a lot, but these are their best-selling titles.
Oh yes.
The reason they don't talk about it a lot is it pisses off the comic stores because the comic
Yep.
stores are like, "Oh, I need single issues, blah blah blah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
need more stuff for," and it's like, yeah, yeah, we're giving you all that we can give you for your audience. You either need to find a way to expand the audience that comes into your shop,
Mm-hmm.
and some stores have been very successful at that, or you need to understand that this is, I mean, I feel bad because when you when you've got a relatively successful business model like a lot of comic shops have felt like they had, and the industry shifts as the comics industry always does,
Yep.
you know. But I care more about the writers and artists being able to make money.
And
Because I feel like if the writers and artists are making enough money that they can continue to make good content, then the stores will find a way to survive because they'll have,
mm-hmm. Something
I
to sell,
mean,
something good.
right. Not every single store, but it'll be a situation where one dies, another one pops
Mm-hmm.
up, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. To a certain extent, it's the same argument that I used to make anytime somebody would argue, oh, if you tax the rich too much, they won't want to make more money. It's like, okay, somebody else will step into the gap.
Yeah. So true. So true. Yeah. And
I don't think
there
that
are
you'll
comic book shops, just like in any business or any field, there are comic book shops that deserve to fail because they are
right.
unimaginative and just ordering the DC Marvel every month. And
Or gatekeep too much,
yep,
or I mean,
yep,
if you make yourself into a store where only old white men feel comfortable,
exactly.
then it's your problem when the
Yeah. And
old
so
white men
just like
don't
any
buy enough
business,
comics to make it worth people making comics for them.
you had a restaurant that only was serving old white men, it might not do well either. So,
Right.
you know,
Right. Um, but yeah, no, so like the market is out there. Yeah, I
yes,
mean, did you see
definitely.
they just announced and this is actually lower than her last book. So Scott McCloud, the industry is expecting Scott McCloud to pull her down. Raina Telgemeier's next book is being done with Scott McCloud. It's Brandon
And so there,
Telgemeier
oh,
and Scott.
he's drawing it and she's writing it,
Um,
or they're
I
writing
forget
it together.
exactly how because I think it's actually a kind of making comics type thing.
Oh, okay. Her version of his making
No,
comics,
no, 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 no. I mean,
but
they're
with
doing something new together. It's the Cartoonist Club, is what
oh,
it's called. One of a kind graphic novel from both of them. So I don't know. I mean, the cover is definitely her art. Um,
that's cool.
I'm guessing that you have art and writing from both of them. That like it's a collaboration, but it's only got a 900,000 initial print run.
And usually she gets what, 2 million or something.
Guts had a 1.25 million initial print run.
Wow.
So apparently they're worried that Scott McCloud will make it less. I mean, what do you want to bet with I mean, Guts has already had, I think, 8 printings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't think all of them are that big, but I also would be willing to bet that none of them are less than 50,000.
Yeah. Right. Oh, for sure.
Right.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
So the problem is not finding people to read
no,
comics.
no, not at all.
And if the problem is not finding people to read comics, then the problem is also not actually managing to find the money to make the comics viable.
Yeah.
I hear some arguments about, oh, but you got to write to the market. No, so many people read comics. I think every comic has at least a $20,000 worth of market.
Yeah.
I think the bigger problem is the company that wants to somehow, I mean, have massive returns on it rather than $20,000 going into to the creation of the book, and then like trying to keep it to another 10 for distribution, at least
Yep.
initially.
Yep.
They want it to be 10,000 for the creation, 20,000 for the printing distribution, and another 10,000 for the distributors and shops, and another 10,000 for the publisher is what they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And it's like, I feel like you've got your model wrong when the people who are making it are the afterthought in terms of who gets paid.
And it's going to be if we get tariffs on everything, it's going
to get worse.
The comic industry, almost all comics are printed in China, so
or Canada.
Or Canada, yeah.
Though no guarantee that tariffs with Canada won't wind up being just as bad because
yeah. So
graphic novels tend to be printed in China, Korea, or Vietnam, sometimes South America.
Ahoy is printed in America. So I don't know if
and like Marvel, DC, and most of Image are done in Canada.
Right. Ahoy is printed in America, one of the few companies. So I don't know if that could help.
But see, half the reason that they're printed elsewhere isn't just that it's cheaper. It's that we've reached a point where we literally don't have the printing capacity in the United States.
Right, yeah. Like so many things, yeah. We've given up on making things, or we did give up on making things.
I mean, did you see the? Did you read What's the Furthest Place from Here? Matt Rosenberg and Tyler Boss's current book.
No,
it's great. But initially, there was a version that was supposed to come out with a vinyl single, and they've been way behind on the vinyl singles because vinyl boomed.
Yep.
But the capacity for making it didn't.
Yeah, and then one of the few places
there's like 5 or 6 places in the entire country
burned down, I believe.
Right. And of course, nobody wants to put up the capital to build a new one.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, this is where we go back to like the billionaire baseball team owner wanting the city to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody's even stepping up to try to get the tax breaks or whatnot because they haven't decided that, vinyl's not a fad.
Right. There's so much money in vinyl right now.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, and I literally predicted this. I predicted 2 things in the late 90s when I was still selling CDs at Best Buy. The first was that it was going to be a lot longer before CDs went away than everybody was saying that it was going to be because of 2 things. First, people like physical items. Second, people want to make certain the artists that they love are getting paid. So it's not, the CDs weren't going to get killed by Napster.
True.
CDs weren't going to get killed until there was a viable way to legally pay for music in digital form. And then, yes, that was going to kill CDs because, let's face it, other than the fact that they're more portable, CDs suck.
Yeah.
They're a little bit better than tapes, but tapes also sucked for the most part.
I think that was what made CDs feel better, was that they were better than tapes.
and the only reasons that either one of those were better than vinyl was the portability.
Exactly.
Vinyl is the one medium that is like between the size, which allows for art and whatnot, between the tactile nature of putting it on the turntable, the way a shelf of records looks, blah, blah, blah. I said then, because I was even seeing like an uptick of like Liz Fair was having everything come out on vinyl. Records. Pearl Jam was having everything come out on vinyl, you know. No.
That first, when like bands like Pearl Jam started to do vinyl again, like they would sell like crazy at the Tower Records I worked at.
Right. And sure enough, it actually took another decade or so for CDs to really die. And part of the reason that they died was because companies like Best Buy bailed on them before they should have.
Yeah. Yeah. Top down decision somebody made.
You know, there's actually a resurgence in a handful of smaller record stores because they suddenly had this gaping hole that had
Mm-hmm.
been,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's the one? FYE doesn't exist if Best Buy doesn't get out of the
We have
CD market.
a store here in Portland called Music Millennium that is incredibly popular and sells CD
Right.
vinyl. And yeah, there's no other place to get it really to get new stuff.
Right.
So that's where people go.
Right. And then immediately after that, vinyl came back.
Yep.
And with vinyl coming back, actual record stores came back because not enough. I mean, it took another 10 years before Target went, oh, I should have vinyl. And even then, they don't have a great selection of vinyl. They don't give the same thought to it that was once given to CDs. Because it takes up more space, and they're all about, how much money can we make per square foot. And I get that for a big box store, but that then leaves room for your small stores. Which is why it would have been so nice if we'd elected a president who wanted to give tax breaks to small business owners.
Yeah, it would have been nice. What a silly idea.
Crazy idea. Yeah. I mean, it's just we live in an interesting world, Bryce. I'm so ready to not live in an interesting world. Can we live in a boring world at some point in our lives?
Yeah. It doesn't need to be, as they say, interesting times. I'm ready for it to be
right.
Not
yeah, give me boring times at some point in my life. That's all I ask.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like 1988 to like 1995 or 96 was relatively boring, but I was like 8 to 14. I didn't know what I had.
Yeah. I'm a little older, so I got to enjoy it a little bit more, but I didn't know what I had either because I was
right.
too young to tell the difference.
Right. It's like, dude, I don't want to look back on my middle school years fondly because I don't look back on them personally fondly. I only look back on them fondly when I'm looking at history books and going, oh, between like the first Iraq War and 9/11, the world was mostly nice.
Yeah.
Not perfect.
No. And the seeds were being planted. The seeds were being furiously.
Oh yeah. No. Which
you're right.
Which is why I'm really frustrated because I saw the seeds being planted before I was able to vote. So I'm really, really frustrated with the voters from that era during that nice era.
Yeah.
Like they love making fun of the millennials and the OK boomer, but like boomers grew up in arguably the greatest era of America. Yeah. And it's not hard to look at history and know why.
Right.
And yet every lesson that could have been learned that created that wonderful era, and not everything was perfect. We're still working on the civil rights, but like the same people who jacked up taxes on the rich were also working on, Eisenhower worked on. Eisenhower wouldn't be a Republican today. And if Republicans were like Eisenhower today, I wouldn't be as upset with them.
Ronald Reagan would get kicked out of the modern Republican Party.
He would, but he was also the beginning of...
Oh, I'm not a fan of Ronald Reagan, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's how far we've gone.
Well, I mean, we look nostalgically on Bush and Cheney. That's how far things have gotten.
Yes.
If you had told me that there was any chance of that, if you had told me in 2008 that I was going to see a president in my lifetime worse than George Bush, I would have gone, oh, God.
Yeah.
But I also would have assumed that I would have been an old man.
Yeah, that it wouldn't take like 8 years to get there. Yeah.
Right. And
No.
then we'd write course for 4 years and then
Mhm.
go right back.
Yeah.
Because
That's,
it's like when it comes to American presidents, like at the bottom, you have like Hoover, Buchanan, and W like duking it out for second worst.
yeah.
And then you have 50 miles of shit.
Hmm. So true.
And you get to our president elect.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've had some bad presidents. You're right. But yeah, it's 50 miles difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we've had bad presidents who got most of their policies wrong, or half their policies wrong, and we're terrible presidents. We now have a president coming back in that we already know will get everything wrong. Everything
Well,
wrong.
and it literally doesn't want to get anything right.
Yeah, probably doesn't want to do it right, but his impulses are always the opposite
People
of what
people did this before, so it must be wrong.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Unless it's something that also makes me richer.
yeah. Right, right, right.
My buddy from Dubai says this will be really good, and he gave my son-in-law $2 billion, so he must be right.
And like it doesn't even matter if what if it's true or not that it will make him rich. It's just like, well, it might. So
Well,
do
because
it.
I don't think he understands that he's not rich.
No, no, he's not.
So it's like he doesn't really get money. I mean, seriously, that's the thing that's really, really scary about him is he could be dirt poor, and if people propped him up to make him feel like he was still rich, he would do anything in the world for them.
Yeah, no, he's a disaster in every possible way. He's just it's like it was made in the lab. The lab was the United States of America, and the lab
Yeah.
of the United States of America created sort of the ultimate shitty American, and
Yeah.
he is our leader now.
Yeah.
Like everything
Yeah.
bad about America kind of just distilled down into that orange man.
I've said it a couple of times lately. One of the things that's been really hard for me is like, uh, two parts of like my personal identity, like what I consider myself, what I don't even need to like shout from the rooftops, it's just part of who I am, have been so utterly co-opted by the same group of people in the same horrible ways that they've now become like my personal quiet identity. I do consider myself a Christian, and I do consider myself a patriot, and I do not want to be counted among any of the other people that say those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Or at the very least, I want to like seriously vet them before I decide that I'm willing to be counted among their number.
Totally, I get you. Yeah,
Because it so clearly means something very different to me than it does to all of these other people.
exactly. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
we still do the Pledge of Allegiance once a week at over the intercom at school. It's very casual. Kids don't have to participate if they don't want to,
Right.
but just the words like kind of sting now.
Yeah.
Like this idea of equality and liberty and justice. It's like, really?
Right. And the people who get upset because they think the only words that matter are the first line.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I get so frustrated. I actually had this conversation with somebody the other day. Um, you know, because we were, I forget exactly how ridiculous the shirt was, but like uniform flag code, is pretty clear about like the flag not being an article of clothing
Mm-hmm.
or not being a towel
Mm-hmm.
or not being a chair
Mm-hmm.
or really it shouldn't be on a baseball uniform.
Mhm. Or
because it's
being
not supposed to be
altered, or
used
being altered to put like an image of Donald Trump on the flag.
right, or changing the color scheme.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and this is where it should also be pointed out that the Uniform Flag Code is a set of guidelines that even for the military, breaking them doesn't necessarily result in court martial. So it's not illegal to break the
Mhm.
Uniform Flag Code. You know what's not in the Uniform Flag Code?
What?
The idea that you have to stand for the anthem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Take off your hat. Yeah.
Mm. All it says is you should show respect for the flag.
Yeah.
Taking a knee and nodding your head in prayer
Yeah.
is respectful.
Hmm. Hmm. Totally. And you're right. The allegiance part is the part that some people, that's all they hear.
Yeah, that it's like they didn't get beyond that.
Yeah.
And how about that national anthem? Have you ever read the second verse?
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
The national anthem literally talks about like hunting down slaves.
Yeah. It's,
Maybe it's time for a different
yeah. Has been for a while, I think.
one. Maybe it never actually should have been made the national anthem, and it wasn't until like
The 50s, right?
I think it was actually the teens, but that in some
Oh,
ways
okay.
makes it worse because it was like it became the national anthem during one of those
Yeah.
swings in Confederate statues and whatnot. So it
Yeah.
was like a definite pushback against
Ugh.
and
Yeah.
mind you, the part that doesn't get talked about that historically is that major round of anti-civil rights was just as everybody was coming back from World War II. Or not from World War One. The other one was when they were coming back from World War II. You know why these are significant? You know where black people got treated pretty equally
In the military.
as soldiers.
Yeah.
You know where black people did amazing things as soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh, those soldiers are coming home now. We got to make certain that you know that only these ones over here are heroes,
Yeah. Yeah.
not those over there.
Yeah.
I mean, we allow illegal immigrants to enlist in our military.
For sure. Cannon fodder.
We have people who should technically be deported who are enlisted in the military.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we'll, when they're done with their time in the military, we can deport them.
Right.
That's
Yeah, no,
disgusting.
we have during the best of times, this nation it was built on such an amazing promise that at times the nation seems to embrace, but then at other times we seem to like treat it as the spit shine on
Mhm.
whatever, you know. And we're in one of those times where they're even saying all the quiet parts out loud.
Oh
And
yeah,
that just makes it so hard.
it does. It does,
It's
especially
like
when you're
it's
in
like, dude,
education.
go read the Constitution.
Especially when you're in education, and you have like we
Right.
we have a precocious, gifted student that we work with, and she's like, everyone lies. Adults just lie now. The president is going to be the world's biggest liar. What's going on? Like she can't
Right.
process it. Like
Well, and I maintain that one of the reasons that so many things have been politicized is because schools are supposed to be apolitical.
yeah,
So the more different things you politicize, the harder it is to have any conversations whatsoever with
it's true.
kids.
It's true. And then civics. I don't know how it is in your region, but the West Coast doesn't even teach civics anymore.
Yeah. We still have a constitution test required
That's
for
good.
graduation.
We don't.
Um some of the material, I mean, how to put it? Uh it sometimes attacks it as dispassionately as it possibly can. Which still makes it left leaning enough that
Yeah.
like you can tell the Fox News or children of Fox News kids pretty quickly when they're sitting there when they're doing their government. Oh, this is bullshit. I'm like, no, this is that document that you say is important.
Yeah, right. Yeah. At the
You
same time
know,
that your judges are
do,
throwing it out
do
the
you
window.
do you watch Jordan Klepper at all on the Daily
Oh
Show?
yeah, I catch them on YouTube sometimes. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that too. And still the most haunting moment he's ever had, the one that just always sticks with me because he was at January 6th.
Yes.
And I remember he was talking to a guy and he was asking, well, oh, well, they're doing this unconstitutional, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, it's unconstitutional? Like, where? I don't know exactly, but I heard. And it's like, well, but I've read the Constitution. I don't remember the part about you've read the Constitution. Yeah, I've read the Constitution. It's incredibly short. It's not a
Yeah.
long document.
Hey,
You've read the Constitution? Yeah. And, maybe you should too, because you seem to be gearing up for seditious acts.
yeah.
And like when he said that, I mean, if I ever met him, that would be my first question is like this moment like haunts me. Because this is just a regular guy.
Yeah.
He's not one of the one that he's talking to. He's like 20 something. He's not decked out in American flags. He's not the
Right.
QAnon shaman. He's
Right.
not
No, most people aren't.
right. Um,
Most MAGA aren't.
right. But he's so certain. And like, I mean, I know from talking to Tom King that you could, because Tom was walking his dog. Tom every once in a while will repost to social media stuff like this is the Capitol during Black Lives Matter with the freaking like National Guard out. This is the Capitol on January 6th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah.
and that kind of stuff is haunting. And there's those guys, the Good Liars, who are
Yeah.
kind of similar to Klepper, and they had one last week where they were talking to they it was right before the election. They had footage of them at a Trump rally talking to vendors selling Trump crap, as MAGA,
Right.
and talking to them about tariffs and
Yeah.
saying like, you understand that like this is going to be bad for your business, and they're like, no, the other guys are going to pay for it. I said, okay, but the other guys to pay it, they're going to raise the price. And they had to like break it down, like bring in another vendor and go, hey, so if the hat you get for wholesale $10 is now $20, what are you going to do to your price? And have another vendor go like, oh, I'd have to raise my price $10 to make the MAGA guy go, oh, that's how tariffs work.
Right.
And that's scary that like, there's these people that are like buying like all the lies to the extent that even the guys who make their living selling MAGA hats
Oh, it's
are going to
yeah.
get screwed, and they don't realize it.
Well, they were already going to get screwed because like they do better business when he's not in power than when he
That's true
is.
too. Yeah, that's true too.
I mean, three different gun manufacturers filed for bankruptcy in the first year of his presidency because
Interesting.
Obama was good for business.
Oh yeah, the best for this. Kamala would have been better, but dang it, they didn't want her to be president. The
I
whole gun
mean,
lobby should have been just going for her, pouring all
you
their money
would
into
think,
Kamala.
yeah.
They should have, because she wasn't going to be able to ban guns, and she was going to help them sell them.
Right. Um, but I mean, gun sales went skyrocket under Biden too. They always
Yeah,
skyrocket under
right,
Democrats
right.
because
Because the
just the
propaganda.
idea that they're going to take them away means that you have to go out and buy more, which is how we have more guns than people in this country.
Yeah, we do. Really scary.
More guns than people.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And I don't have a gun. Oh, I'm telling
Neither do
everybody,
I.
don't come for me, people with 10 guns.
17 guns, 1,700 guns.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I had a friend who got into guns, and he like filled up like a whole room with guns until he kind of had a moment where where he was like, whoa, what am I doing? And he pulled back and got rid of almost all of them. But he
Right.
kind of fell into that, like creating an arsenal American thing that people do.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he finally
And,
realized.
and I'm like, let's even like, because particularly as we have more stand your ground laws and more castle laws, and thanks to Kenosha, we now have at least one time where the idea that somebody might take your gun is reason, is justification for homicide.
Yeah, right. And not just homicide, then you become a hero. You
Right,
you
right.
can make a
But
living off
I'm
of
just
it.
talking about the legal side.
You're right. You're
He
right.
got off
Yeah.
because he was afraid that
Mm-hmm.
somebody might take his gun,
Yeah.
and therefore he had real fear for his life.
Yeah.
Because he had a gun,
Yeah.
he had real fear for his
Oh,
life.
such twisted evil logic.
So, in other words, if you choose to, there's essentially no excuse for not using your gun anymore.
Right. Right. Because all
But
you have to
what's
do
the
is
next
say,
step?
I perceive. I perceive.
Right. What's the next step?
Yeah. I perceive a whole community is a threat to me.
Right. I perceive.
Yeah. That's
Eventually, the only place that leads, unless you infringe on gun rights somewhere, big
yeah.
air quotes going that our
Mm-hmm.
listeners can't see,
Yeah.
um, is like, okay, so you need guns to protect your stuff, because when the police come to stop the robbers feel threatened and they can shoot the police. And
Mm-hmm.
essentially the only people that get to have stuff are the people that are good enough shots to keep the
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. That seems sort of like the old, like, Wild West of the 1800s or
It
something.
actually feels worse than the Wild
Because
West
they have better
actually had a
guns,
massive amount of
better
gun
guns,
control
more
laws.
firepower. But the same sort of ethos.
No, but seriously, you couldn't carry a gun in Dodge City. You had to
No,
check
that's
it
right.
at.
That's right. That's right.
You
Yeah.
couldn't carry a gun in Tombstone. You had to
Very true.
check it in with the sheriff.
Very true. Very true. Yep. Yep.
That was long before Bruin.
Yeah. Yeah. They should have gone and had the Supreme Court, help them with that. Their Second Amendment
Actually, the
rights would
Supreme
be.
Court at the time still thought of the right to bear arms as a community thing.
Right, a militia, yeah, as it should be.
Right. Right. You can have an armory in your community that people can have access to should your community be attacked by wild Indians or bears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, or the British.
If you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what it meant.
Yeah.
Until 2008.
Yeah.
Until 2008. It makes for some funny comics.
It certainly can.
I mean, we are reaching a point where it's harder and harder to write a good dystopic comedy.
It is.
Because it's harder and harder to write dystopia that looks far-fetched.
I agree. I it's one of the challenges of like when we get off today, I'm going to be writing and working on this robot dog thing, and
Right.
there's some dystopia in that world, and it's tricky right now.
I mean, like 1984 and Brave New World, they were still like 50, 60 years away from, decisions could still be made to avoid that.
Yeah.
Now it's like half the time. One of my favorite comics in the last couple of years. Did you read Sarah Gailey and Leanna Congas did a book called Know Your Station, where essentially all the rich people have moved up into this space station, and there's a murder, so like it's a murder mystery on this rich space station, but there are all these little things that you start picking up on as you go through, which is like that this is all funded by the carceral society. The fact that like almost all of Earth is now considered a prison and a private prison at that. And that's how all these people made their money.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's just certain things that I'm uncomfortable having privatized.
Well, hell yeah.
Military, prisons.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't really think that healthcare should be.
No.
I mean, I don't think that anything that is like, you know, directly involved in allowing equal opportunity to living a healthy, happy life. So it should be privatized. So I think we should have a right to health care. I think we should have a right to power. I think we should have a right to either a job that will support us or, barring that, a universal basic income, whichever the powers that be think will make it work better. I think we should have a right to communications. I don't think you should have to pay for internet or phone service or whatever. Now, I think that there's lots of room for there still to be capitalism around those things. You want better healthcare?
Yep.
Private healthcare can be out there. You want better than the government? You can have private insurance. Whatever, but there should be a baseline that everybody is entitled to, that your vote means something because your vote is about, oh, we need to improve this or we need to improve that. Um, but I think even more than that, I don't think we should have things. I mean, those are all things where people get to profit off of them because people need them, and therefore you raise the prices, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
People still need
Yep.
to eat.
Still need it.
They
Yep.
still need access to the internet. They
Yeah.
still
I'll
need
take
whatever.
half of my um, diabetes medication, because I
Right.
can't afford to
Right.
take a full dose.
Right. But to me, it's even more offensive that there are people that profit off of things that we want to eradicate.
Mm-hmm. No,
When you
they're
have for-profit prisons, you have people who want more crime.
yeah.
When your national weapon systems, when your national defense is privatized, you have people who want more war.
Yeah. No, and I be very careful about saying this. These people are enemies of humanity in the truest sense. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to like other anyone, but they are. If you are in that position where you're rooting for things that kill and destroy the human race or human society, then you are, by what you are doing, an enemy to humanity, to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. Yeah. And it blows my
be
mind.
clear about that.
Yeah, no, it blows my mind that we live in a society that's managed to twist some of these things so much that people can say things out loud and not realize how horrible I mean, like when you've got the CEO of a for-profit prison company talking about how good business is going to be with Trump coming in because there's going to be need for this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, do you understand what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
You've so managed to divorce human beings from the profit you make off of them.
Yeah.
That
That at
you're
some point, you see
bragging
where that's leading.
Right.
You see where that if you do that enough, then there is no more money
Right.
made.
Right. Yeah.
The whole thing goes up in flames.
I
Literally.
mean, I still remember, and it's one of my favorite action movies. But even the first time I saw it, I had a pretty big problem with the premise. Have you seen Kingsman? I assume.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, so here's my question: if you're only taking the leaders and the rich people to keep them safe,
Yeah.
once the rest of the world has killed itself, to cut
Yeah.
down on population, and yes, you've solved the environmental problem. What's going to happen when you run out of food?
Yeah. Right.
I didn't see
Or the
you
couple
saving any
doctors.
farmers' lives or even any cooks' lives. So, how many of the people that you saved know how to cook themselves a meal?
No, it's this, it's the Ayn Rand sort of philosophy, that's like that objectivism that's kind of seeped into so many people's brains. And what they all miss is that you cannot divorce yourself from the rest of the human race and put
No.
yourself on an ivory tower, an island, whatever, the moon, whatever. It never will work. The rest of the human race will be there. And if you kill the rest of the human race, you're screwed too. So it's like, it doesn't work. This I only am for me thing doesn't work
Or
long term.
like the only way it can work whatsoever is if you are a farmer and like literally create a space for yourself where you are 100% self-sufficient, build your own house, fix your own shit. You don't get electricity. If you
Yeah.
want electricity, you need other people.
Generate it.
You don't get a car.
Yeah.
If you want a car, you need other people.
Yeah. But I guess what I always say then is what stops someone from taking that from you? Like,
Nothing.
trying to take
Nothing.
that. So you
Nothing.
can't, if you are the person who's living the perfect life, there's always going to be somebody knocking at the door.
Who could? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, much better to like care for each other.
Yes.
I think that that's actually the key to good society.
Right. Yeah. No one's trying to like storm the gates when everybody's taken care of.
Right. There's so much less motivation to like storm the gates when your basic needs are met.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there will be no bad actors.
Right.
But
They're
it
always
seems to me that there are two sets of bad actors in the world. There are the bad actors that just want to dominate other people, and those are those billionaires that like need more, even though they already have more than they and their families can spend in the next 10 lifetimes. And there are those who are just trying to survive.
Yeah.
Those are your primary bad actors.
Mm-hmm. And so get the ones that are just trying to survive out by helping them survive.
Right. and that might cut down on the billionaires because you're taking from them to begin with.
Yeah, which is okay. Because they don't.
It is.
It's
well, and maybe it makes them more human again.
Right. Because they're now having to deal with other human beings instead of just playing a game of accruing more wealth.
Right.
Which is
right. They might have to go to the grocery store themselves.
Yeah. Right.
They might treat a maid badly and have her go, "I quit."
Yeah.
Rather than firing them. Because they know that I don't actually need this job. I can go find another job. I feel comfortable. A friend of a friend is like a high end wedding planner. He does like the low end of a wedding that he plans is like 50 grand, right? And the high end is like hundreds of thousands of dollars. But he literally has I forget exactly what he calls it, but essentially a be nice clause in his contract.
And if they're not nice, then he can just walk.
Yeah, that like there are circumstances where he not only can he walk, but he is owed for all work done to that point and a walk fee.
Wow. It's great.
And he has enough he says it's literally the part of his contract that he has the most people trying to get taken out. He's like, no, fuck you. He says he's been offered an extra $100,000 to take it out. And he's like, no. You would rather pay me an extra $100,000 than treat
Yeah,
me like a human being.
yeah.
I don't need
Then
the money
that's a
that
big red
bad.
flag.
Yeah. You just told me all I need to know. You can hire somebody else.
Yeah, yeah. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Well, and it's great that he's in a position where he can,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
know, because I think that's the biggest reason
yeah.
that a certain class of people wants to grow the gap.
So that they can treat everyone that way.
Right. I mean,
Yeah,
it took me so long to figure out why big business wasn't in favor of universal health care. You'd think it would be good for them.
yeah.
And then I realized, oh, but then you can switch jobs easier.
Yes, that's the one thing they like about it is having us trapped. Yeah, so true.
You can switch jobs easier,
Yeah,
which means they don't have to pay you as well and they don't have to treat you as well.
right. You're trapped. Yeah,
The
for
money
sure.
they spend on your healthcare is actually like huge,
It is.
huge savings for them
Yeah.
because you're trapped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a very I don't know if I've ever thought of it in that context.
It
About
took me forever
about
to come to
healthcare,
that, but
you're right.
you know, and since then, anytime I start hearing a right winger talk to me about, you know, that being socialism, I'll start talking about freedom. Aren't you in
Yeah.
favor of freedom?
Uh-huh. So true.
Universal healthcare makes you free to work where you want.
Yeah. And oh man, like entrepreneurship is muted so much by
Mm-hmm.
healthcare in this country, and the
Mm-hmm.
fear people have of like, oh, I can't take that risk because if I get sick,
Mm-hmm.
I could die.
Entrepreneurship, artistic jobs,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of things are completely, yeah, yeah. But you have given me
It has
two
been a while.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you give me 2 hours of fun conversation that's gone all over the place, like it
Yeah.
always does.
Yeah. It's always
Let's
fun.
bring it. Let's bring it back to comics to wrap up. My favorite question to ask, and you've answered it many times before. I don't remember what you said in the past, so you might give me the same answers. You might give me new answers. Who knows? Um, Tell me something you love, preferably a comic that you need more people to experience, so that you can talk to them about it. And who knows? Maybe I'll decide that we should book club it.
Okay. Uh,
I do remember the first one you said. The first one you said wasn't a comic, and I did wind up reading it. It was the John Ronson book,
oh
the So
yeah,
You've Been
yeah,
Publicly Shamed,
yeah.
way back. Because you
That was like the first time we
weren't
talked.
you like, I think you were like our third or fourth interview. You go way back with this
Oh, that's so
show.
cool. It was back when I was
Yeah.
on Twitter and we were able to meet, I think, on Twitter.
Because yeah, I mean, you realize that we're at like 206 interview episodes now. I think you're
I saw
200.
that you were up to 200. I saw that.
We're over 500 overall episodes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I will
And
tell
some
you.
of them have even been listened to.
I will tell you. Okay, I because you got me thinking now about non-comics when you brought up John Ronson.
Right.
Recently, I was delighted to read a bunch of James Thurber stories
Oh,
in the Thurber Carnival, which is a nice compilation that you can get for like, paperback up for like $8. And it's
okay.
just like the cream of his career, both his writing and his drawing. And it is kind of comics. I
Which means
guess
it's not entirely non-comic.
it is kind of because Thurber has tons of
Right.
comics in his book. So there you go. The Thurber Carnival is a fantastic. It's
I haven't read enough Thurber.
really like wonderful whimsy,
Yeah.
which we don't get enough of, I don't think, in modern writing or art.
I think we do sometimes. I mean, there are books like My Bad.
Thank you, thank you.
Books like My
Wow, what a
Bad.
transition. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's great whimsy. It's great fun. If you need a smile in these dark times,
For that matter, this is why I love. We talked about it briefly earlier. This is why I love Mr. Invincible so much, and I highly recommend that you go check it out from Magnetic Press. Is because I mean, he's not even like an athletic superhero. He's like this overweight, middle aged. Guy
Crazy.
that can reach between panels.
Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need. One good trick.
He can travel by phone because, when you call somebody, the next
Oh
panel
yeah,
is them
next panel.
answering, and
Yeah.
he can just walk into it.
Yeah. Now, how does he does do flashbacks? Can you travel through time then? Through
I think so.
he
I
must be
mean,
able to.
they do all sorts of fun stuff with it.
Uh,
It's really just and completely whimsical. I mean, yeah, I
Another
can't recommend that book enough.
the most recent thing I read that I thought was fantastic. Again, not comics. Cory Doctorow has a short story, like 20 pages online, called Car Wars, and it is just the thought experiment of what if every car in the world was now autonomous driverless car. What does
And they
that
went to war.
what does that one thing do to like all society? And it's 8 little interconnected vignettes. Very, very good. I highly recommend it. You can find it online for free and read it. Car Wars by Cory Doctorow.
Okay, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
I
One of those
haven't.
things where like it, the kind of sci-fi that I think I love the most is ones where you sit and you think about this one thing, this one change. What does it do
All
to our
right,
society? What does it do to our world? And it's
you step on the butterfly and you wind up with the wrong
yeah,
president.
yeah, exactly. Yes, yes, yes.
Actually, I think I figured out what happened. Time travel has been discovered.
You're
Somebody
right.
stepped on a butterfly.
Yes, they
Oh,
they they left.
man.
They left, and it was like President Bernie Sanders, and they came back, and it was President.
Right. Right. Oh, God.
Well, it's been great talking to you again, Ted.
Bryce, it's always great talking to you. We need to do it more. My
Yeah.
brother went and moved up to Seattle, so
Oh, so I won't even see him in the neighborhood, I guess.
yeah. So I won't manage to get out to Portland and crash with my brother, but it's still on my list. I know enough people in Portland that I might
Yeah.
be able to find somebody to crash with, and or maybe we stop living completely paycheck to paycheck sometime in the next decade or so, and I could actually afford to come out and rent space.
Right, like an Airbnb or something. Yeah, there's some cool areas you
I
can.
mean, to a certain extent, sometimes it's actually, I mean, it's weird sometimes how cheap it is, but that's also why housing is so expensive.
Yes, right, right. Because so many people are using a place
Right.
that someone
Right.
could live.
Because even if your Airbnb is only $40 a night,
Yeah.
that's $1,200 a month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Pay your mortgage.
if it's the size that you could only get $600 a month for,
Yeah.
you just doubled it if you can manage to book it every night, and you don't have to book it every night to make it even,
Yeah.
you know.
True. So true.
I mean that's like that's the one thing that I didn't hear Kamala talk about when she was talking about more housing is like if we created more rules about rental housing, you'd get more housing.
Yeah. I think
It's
some of
not
that
that the
stuff.
houses aren't there.
I think some of that stuff, that
It's
they,
that
they were
equity has
probably
gotten
scared. They were probably
so
scared for her to
involved.
talk about. They were probably scared for her to talk about some of those subjects, which I think is one
Right.
of the problems with the Democratic Party.
Well, one of the guests on this show was running for governor of Montana. So, unfortunately, he did not win. But, when I shot him a note not long after he announced, one of the things I said is there's not a good way to put this, but Republicans prey on their audience being stupid.
Yeah,
And Democrats are so afraid of their audience thinking that they're treating them like they're stupid that they're not willing to teach them anything.
yeah, that's a great way to summarize it. Yeah, yeah,
Don't be afraid to teach.
yeah, yeah,
Not everybody understands economic theory.
yeah,
So, I mean, they should have been teaching more about tariffs.
yeah, yeah. Like the way the Good Liars did that I described earlier.
Right. They
Broke it
should have been
down.
teaching more about, I mean, And it's hard in a society that wants a 30-second soundbite and blah blah blah. I mean, no, it's not easy, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try,
Yeah. Yeah.
because not everybody knows everything, nor should they be expected to. And most people aren't actually offended when you teach them things if you do it
Without condensation. Without
right,
condensation.
right, without condescension.
Yeah, condescension. That's what
Yeah,
I meant.
condensation is
Not
is is is
condensation. I'm
is
not talking about
water.
water.
Condescension.
Condescension.
Right. If you're not condescending to them,
Yeah.
if you're not talking down to them, if you're not telling them they're stupid because they don't know, if you're acknowledging that it's hard and
Yeah.
it may not be part of their everyday life, that sort of
Right.
thing. And for that matter, this have you read much Richard Feynman?
A little bit. Yeah.
I love Richard Feynman.
Yeah. Very,
Um,
very smart guy.
One of the things that I love the most about him is he said something along the lines of, if you can't reduce it to a freshman level class, that means you don't understand it that well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things, there are two things that the right has gotten away with all of my life. And getting away with the one, I think, is what made them brazen with the other. Because all of my life, they've gotten away with, oh, it's very complicated. Just
Yeah.
trust us.
Right.
But getting away with that for so long is how they now get away with just blatantly lying because
Mm-hmm.
you won't check.
Yep.
You know, um, it's not complicated why trickle down economics doesn't work.
No. Not at all.
It's not complicated at all.
No. No.
Rich people spend money to make money, which means that they spend money if there's going to be a buyer. The buyers are the poor people. If you have poor people and you have rich people and you give the rich people more money, they won't spend that money because the poor people don't have money to spend on the things that the rich people might spend that money on.
Yeah. So true.
Everybody tries to everybody focuses with Keynes on the idea of, in a good economy, the government should pull back, and on a bad economy, the government should spend more. And there's truth. I mean, that's definitely something that he gave, and there's a lot of truth to that and whatnot. But that wasn't the biggest economic idea that Keynes brought to the forefront. And his bigger idea tends to get ignored because it's difficult when it comes to all of their modeling. And that's that workers and consumers are the same people.
There you go. Now you've lowered it down below ninth grade, and I think that's
right. Workers and consumers are the same people.
Yeah, so true. Yep.
So if you're paying the workers less, then the consumers have less money. Yep. It's why they always try to use the supply and demand curve as why minimum wage laws will lead to lower employment. And it's like, no, because the workers are making more money, which means the workers can spend more money, which will increase employment.
Yeah. Not. Yeah, but you can believe your lying eyes, or you can believe what somebody's telling them,
or we could teach logic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a lot of things we could teach.
I mean, math is supposed to be logic, but we teach it so horribly.
Oh, yeah.
Don't even get me started on how badly we teach it at the low grades.
Yeah.
But even at high school, half the time, nobody teaches it in a language.
No. And how to use it and apply it.
Right.
Critical thinking. Yeah.
Right.
I gotta
go. Those are other conversations. So for Bryce Ingman, this has been 22 panels. We will see you after the next page.
Hey guys, this is Tyler from 22 Panels. I'm here to tell you all about our Patreon. If you enjoy this show, please consider donating to our Patreon to keep this show going. We have many different tiers, all different levels to help you decide what's right for you. Okay, so get on out there to patreon.com/22panelspodcast.